What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about something called the action cycle. This is really going to help you rewire your thoughts about how to get meaningful things done. A lot of people have this idea, and I used to think this way as well, that you need to be inspired or you need to be motivated in order to go ahead and do the thing, right? In order to go ahead and take action, to turn on the camera and record the YouTube video, or to grab your hockey bag and get to practice, or to open the music book and practice the piano, whatever it might be. A lot of people are under the impression that you need to have some kind of inspiration or motivation to do these things, to accomplish the goals that will eventually come from taking continuous action. Now, it's pretty logical why people would be under this assumption. After all, it makes complete sense to only really pursue things that are meaningful to you, that inspire you, that motivate you. But let's say you hear somebody playing some music in the park. They're playing guitar in the park, and they get a small crowd going, and it really inspires you. You've always wanted to learn the guitar. So you go home and you start looking for some music teachers, and you take a couple lessons, a couple guitar lessons. You buy your first guitar, you're excited, you're inspired by that guy you saw singing in the park. And then after a while, you realize that it's kind of hard work to learn this new skill. And you're not so motivated anymore. You're not so inspired anymore because, well, it's just difficult. You go and pick up the guitar, and at first you feel like you kind of suck. It's frustrating. You're not making progress maybe as quick as you would have hoped to. Does this sound familiar? I'm sure everyone has gone through this at least once, twice, probably a half a dozen times or more in their life with regards to taking action and having like a spark of inspiration, but then it dies out. That is a very normal process, and it is realistic that even though you might have a spark of inspiration at first and some motivation to go and learn something or go and do something, that inspiration, that motivation is going to eventually die down a little bit. You're going to get a bit of a reality check and realize you're not going to be a rock star overnight, and it's going to die down a little bit. And so you think, well, this just isn't for me. I'm not a born natural at this. But that is a huge misconception. If every rock star had that mindset, there would be no great musicians. If every web developer had that mindset, there would be no great websites. If every content creator had that perspective, there would be no great content out there for your education and entertainment purposes. See, the thing is that inspiration and that motivation isn't actually necessary in order for you to act. People think it's a trigger, right? It's inspiration, and then that's going to motivate you to take action, and that's how it's going to work, and you're going to sustain this inspiration. But that's not the case. A lot of times, you're not going to feel like, a lot of times you might not be so excited because you know you're going to be met with some tasking work, some difficult work to do. You know, I want to be a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Sometimes I don't want to go train. But I know when I show up to class and I do my warm-up and I'm watching the technique and then I'm practicing it, I'm going to be happy I showed up. And in the long run, those days are the most important for me not to quit and to sustain my progress over time. And you know what? When I do show up, after the warm-up, after I watch the first technique and we go practice it, or after the first round of sparring, now I'm inspired again. Now I'm excited to be there. Why? Because I took some action, and that action reignited the inspiration and the motivation to take more action, to not only just be there for 1 hour, just to check it off my list for the day, just to check that box, but actually maybe I'll spend 2 or 3 hours there. And then I'll be so excited to come back tomorrow, and I'm going to go home and I'm going to watch some instructionals on how to get better at finishing omoplatas. So the big takeaway here is that most people think it's inspiration triggers this motivation to act, and that you're going to have to rely on that motivation and that inspiration in order to take action. But that is a very false paradigm. That's going to get you nowhere in terms of results. How it really works is it is a cycle. It's the action cycle. You can start anywhere, and it's a positive feedback loop. As you know, if you're feeling inspired, if you're feeling motivated to act, you're going to go ahead and take action. But sometimes you're not feeling inspired, you're not feeling motivated, if you go ahead and take action, that is going to feed more inspiration, more motivation, and then it's going to be a cycle where you are going to be able to sustain action taking. You just have to understand that if you're not on the I of the cycle and you're not on the M, sometimes you have to start with the A. Sometimes you have to start with the action. And it's a beautiful cycle. It's how you're going to be able to get meaningful things done. You're not always going to be feeling motivated. You're not always going to have some trigger of inspiration in order to act. So sometimes you got to rely on the action itself. Now, here's one thing that can really put the action cycle's effectiveness in the garbage, and that is false expectations. You have to understand that results don't come so quick. Sometimes it's long, hard, tedious work, but keep your eye on the prize, understand why you're there, stay connected to your passion for that thing, and you are not going to feel discouraged by the action. You are going to feel inspired. One example for me is sometimes I don't know what I want to make a video on. So sometimes my action for the day is not turning on the camera and filming a video. It's sitting down, opening my computer, opening up my YouTube documents and just staring at the page for a little bit. When I open the screen, I stare at the page, some ideas will start to come. And then I'm excited. Then I start planning the video. And then oftentimes when I do that, that very same day, I'll go from not knowing what the hell I'm going to record to having a whole plan, and I'll film the actual video itself. This is because the action inspires some motivation, which causes more action to happen. So that is the action cycle. You don't have to rely on inspiration to motivate you to take action. Oftentimes you can just start with the action itself, and that can inspire you and motivate you to go ahead and take more action. And it's this beautiful positive feedback loop where all the action gets taken. And if you follow that action cycle, that is how you are going to see your plan play itself out and get your meaningful results and pursue what is meaningful to you. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll see you in the next one.